And we are on. Donald,
All
you want
right.
to lead us
Well,
with the introduction?
welcome, Black and Tan family. 0.0075% faster. Donald, do you know what episode this is?
I only know because you gave me a hint earlier, Paul.
I think you're supposed to have read the script first and then not
Yeah,
repeat
yeah.
it. I tried to
Oh,
send. I tried to tee that up for you. You didn't
I
take it.
love it. You try see, but that's a good friend. That's a good friend trying to make me look like I know more than I do. When in fact, just a couple of minutes ago, you told me you gave me the answers to the question, Paul.
All right.
All right, so we are episode
You
30.
you could tell I was dealing with lawyers all day, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah, I'm sure that was crazy today.
Oh,
So we're episode 30.
32, but yes.
Dang it. You gave me the answer to the question and I still got it wrong.
And you didn't listen.
I Is that what it is?
I
Is that what
love
it
you.
is?
I love you, but I
Damn.
love you, but.
See, we should have started this private and then go live, right?
Right, right. But check
we
it out.
thought we thought we were ready, Elvis. We were like, okay.
Episode
Hey,
episode 32.
Yeah.
So we probably lost at least 3 episodes because we just didn't know what we were doing as far early on as far as saving them.
and they got
So
demonetized.
yeah. So I'd say there's at least a solid 28 episodes that you guys can go back and check out. And you can see the progression from when Elvis wasn't really part of it until now that Elvis is a part of it. You'll see some of the episodes where they look super professional and others look like like we're bike shop guys.
Elvis is the man.
I I,
Elvis
tr-
is
I try to do and go back and like watch it and be like, hey, what can we do better next time? But yeah, I mean, it's what it is, man. It's supposed to be organic. It's live, so that means there's a lot of room for mistakes. So it's cool.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I think on
For sure.
my we're live on both, so I want to welcome everyone who's in the Black and Tan channel and also on the MTV channel. We're live on both, and we got something really cool today, which we're gonna be giving something away. And Donald has some other stuff that I don't know if he's gonna show on video, but we're gonna be giving this away today for the Cannondale fans out there. So I don't know. Do we
Elvis,
say?
do you have to own a Cannondale to win that?
No, no, you don't have to, but I'm sure we
It's
have.
but it's a really nice
Yeah,
sweatshirt. It
It
really
is.
is. It's
It
a
it's
is.
really
really
nice
nice. Yeah.
sweatshirt, and we want to start kind of giving things away. We want to give like rewards to the people that actually tune in
Yeah.
and hang out with us every other Wednesday. You gotta like and subscribe to our Instagram feed, please. And like I said, our objective in growing this channel is to give back to our community. Once we start getting things in and selling merch and things like that, we're not keeping any of the profit. All the profits going to all NICAs, BYCs, and other organizations like that. So when we ask you guys to like and subscribe, it really does help us out to grow the channel.
Yeah, what
Indeed.
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post both. And I don't know, Donald, if you want to say the who's bringing this stuff to us, but to give away, or if we're just gonna keep it.
Well, that was donated by Cannondale.
Okay.
Um, we have some swag stuff coming in from different vendors and things like that. As we get things in, we'll make sure that we hook everybody up with
Some merch.
different merch and stuff like that.
So
Like I said,
this is a size medium, and I think we have a large also, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
How do
So
I? I'm liked. I'm subscribed. When does it get to me?
yeah,
we're
yeah,
the
but
rules
you
are
we
that none of the ones that are in mics right now count, but anyone that goes into the Black and Tan, hit the subscribe, put a comment. Hey, I was on the live or I'm watching on the replay. Make sure you subscribe and you like the video and you put your comment. and also on the DMBM TV. And we're gonna announce the winner in 2 weeks, right? Next Wednesday.
Yep, next
Okay.
Wednesday.
Nice.
So
All right.
there you go.
And you can't. I just want to be clear. If you're on the mic right now, you cannot put in that I'm a size medium.
You can
No.
always you can always comment from another account, which it's what
But
I'm gonna do.
but
All right.
Paul, I do have some Patapsco stuff waiting in my office that every time you're there, I forget to give you. So I have the new olive Patapsco t-shirt like this one, as well as I believe I have the a Patapsco sweatshirt as well, the new ones. And
Outstanding.
those are supposed to only be for employees. So you're gonna have to start working in the shop. I hate to tell you that.
I believe, perhaps not as directly as most people think, I do work in the shop.
Get see that, and I'm falling victim to exactly what you guys told me not to do. I'm reading the comments, and as soon as I saw Randy Watson, I just I started laughing. But all right, I do need to turn the comments off. All right, let's get started.
I thought
It
we
never
fixed that,
it
Elvis. I
never
thought we
it
fixed
never
that.
it never goes without not happening.
I do. I'm like so bad. It's like it's torture for me to try not to look over there and read it. But check it out. So let's talk about this subject. All right.
What are we talking
So
about? What are we talking about? What are we talking
today's subject is e-bikes and why everybody hates on them so much. Like I'm genuinely curious on why so much hatred when it comes to e-bikes. You know,
I mean, I feel like there's
what do you guys think?
I feel like there's a little bit of it's a very sensitive subject, and at the same time it's a very thin line also, because there is those that are fan of Strava, so we can go on that route too, that see e-bikers using Strava without saying they're on an e-bike. So we can
No,
talk about that side, or we can
100%.
go ahead.
isn't
Well,
that like lying about your weight on Zwift? Isn't that the same thing?
it's just, I mean, right. It's mechanical doping no matter what, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you can dope in so many different ways. You can change your weight. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can dope, and riding an e-bike in that is just one of them. I think the biggest thing is that we all have to remember that Strava is just a game and it's just a tool. It does,
Nowadays is a social media. Sorry.
yeah, and on top of it being a social media outlet. But it's when you get your feelings hurt because someone didn't use this or didn't do that with Strava. I mean, you got to look at it. You got to look at it different. And there's no way that I'm going to be able to change that guy's opinion. The person that I'm looking at now, and I also want to make sure that everybody understands that there's a difference between an electric motorcycle and an e-bike. In my in
Ooh.
my in my opinion, anything that has a throttle, I don't care what class it is an electric motorcycle. All right, if you don't have to pedal it, it's a motorcycle. Whether it runs on gas or whether it runs with electricity. So, if it has a throttle, let's just eliminate those altogether. Like right now, we're not even talking about that, like the Cirons and stuff like that. That's not something that we're talking about. We're talking about pedal assisted bicycles with no throttle. Um, you know,
So,
I
I hold on. So if I have a cable that makes it go a little bit faster, or I have a clicker that makes it go easier to paddle, you're thinking there's a distinction in that type of
one
difference.
100%, one hundred
Wow.
percent. One is, I don't care how much torque you need to put down to make it go forward. Um, as long as that bike needs your input to move forward, it's a bike to me. And again, that's these are my opinions. I feel like as if you don't pedal it, the motor doesn't kick in to assist you. Um, it's no different than, I mean, any other form of assistance to me. Whether you're riding it, guess what? If you're riding in a pack, guess what you're getting? You're getting assistance from drafting. You know, if you draft a car, same thing. If you, any of that stuff is all, if you're talking assistance, whether it be electronic with a motor or someone pulling you down the road because they're faster than you and you're just in their draft, what's the difference?
Let me ask you this, Donald. Before we move like deep into like the e-bikes details and like brands and stuff like that, I do want to get one question because I feel like a lot of people that we have online today and will watch the playback as well would be from our area, right? You as a mechanic, as a bicycle shop owner, are bikes even allowed, e-bikes even allowed on our local trails like Patasco, let's say Schaefer Farms? Because I'm sure you're aware of all the regulations, and I know a couple owners of e-bikes, and apparently there's like signs on Patasco Park that their e-bikes are not allowed, or it's just like different types of the e-bikes or motorcycles.
E-bikes, e-bikes are not allowed in Patapsco State Park.
Okay.
Period. Um, E-bikes are, it's a very gray area in Patapsco. Uh, it I was talking to someone that works for the park and was told that it needed to be said and needed to be posted. So if something were to go wrong, they would have an outlet to be able to say, "We told you it's not supposed to be here anyway."
And by that
But
means like running someone over or something, or getting in a crash, or
getting
someone
in a
getting hurt.
crash or something that was caused that the e-bike caused. So they're it's posted. E-bikes aren't allowed in Patapsco on any of the dirt trails. They are allowed on the gristmill trail, off dirt trails. They're fine. Um, but it is posted, and technically, no, they're not allowed. But there's a big but. The
No one's
big but,
who's policing that? Nobody's policing that.
that's the but. So as long as you're not doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, you won't get in trouble. No one's going to say anything. The only person or people that will say something are the people that are just haters on e-bikes. You'll have the guy who comes up when you're riding up a hill, the guy who yells up the trail, "You're cheating." That's going to be the guy who says something. I think the big issue is a big misunderstanding of what a pedal assisted e-bike is and what they're capable of. Uh, I always invite the haters, the people that hate them and don't want them to come out and ride one, and they'll understand that it's not a dirt bike. It's not tearing up the trail. It's not going a million miles an hour through the trails. As a matter of fact, I just had a race with Jeremiah Bishop recently, and I was on an e-bike, and Jeremiah was on a regular bike, and there were definitely sections in that race that Jeremiah was catching me. He was definitely faster than me, and he was faster than a lot of the guys. So it was a race between some people on e-bikes, some people on regular bikes, but there's two different classes. Jeremiah came in fourth overall, and he beat about half the e-bikes. So, you
I mean,
know,
we do. I don't. Do you have something, Paul?
No, I mean, I'm interested. We've gotten the weeds there a little bit about what's an e-bike and what isn't an e-bike, and what you can have on the trails and what you cannot have on the trails. I think, I think all three of us support e-bikes, so I think I'm going to play a little bit of a devil's advocate. Because I think we have to consider the other perspective, and that would be all right. So Donald's saying is if you're pedaling, you're all right. And so, well, somebody says, well, it's still battery. What if you're moving your thumb and it's okay? And then, well, you know, what if it's electric? If it's okay, but if it's not electric, what if it's propane? Can use a propane motor, and I think that's where if you're against it, I'm not going to call them haters, but if you're against it, like that's your train of thought, right? Where do you draw the line where it becomes something that shouldn't be in a park? And somebody somewhere down the road said, yeah, we shouldn't have motorcycles on the trails in Patapsco. I get it, but I mean that's I think the other side of it.
I think the trade off in the line that you have to draw on the sand is a pedal assisting mechanism, right? Now, if that were a gas motor and you still had to pedal it, not like a moped, but you still had to pedal it. I would probably be more pissed off about the noise pollution that it would bring into the park than anything else. As long as it didn't go, as long as it wasn't tearing up the trails and things like that, I feel like it's fine. As long as there's not a throttle on it, as long as you can't ride that bike without pedaling it, I don't see a problem with whatever it is that propels it.
I feel
So
like
we are
those that we've been riding for a while, they're like I know a couple people that have e-bike, and I talked to people before too, and like one person that I talked to before was like, I enjoy so much, and it was an e-bike, a pedal assistance. For those that don't know, like as soon as you pedal, you kind of get like a little help from the bike. So the guy was like, yeah, like for me an e-bike, it's the way that I get to enjoy. He was like a motocross guy, right? Like a dirt biker, sorry. And he's like, this is the closest that I can get for me to like still get the same experience, come out to the trails. I'm not like physically able to keep up with everyone, but this is the way how I practice like my skills by coming into the park and like riding an e-bike. So that's like another way like to look at it. Like he's still having fun, but at the same time he understand like, it's
Elvis. Do
not
you
the
think?
same as riding a.
Yeah. Do you think it's just like e-bikes in on mountain bike trails? Is that what people really have a problem with? Because
I
I'm not
just
hearing a lot of complaints on the road about somebody having an e-bike. So
I feel like people that gets with like those big bikes on the trails are like not like and I hope I don't get hate for this, are not like real like mountain bikers that we ride with people on the daily. I feel like it's that person who like, ooh, I found a trail, let me jump on this, and maybe that would be like their first time. Like I rode before like around my area, and I see like kids on dirt bikes on the trail. So
Yeah,
I feel like for one person, everyone is paying the price. Like, oh, you're not allowed to bring your e-bike. And I mean, I know other people too that ride e-bikes that they riding an e-bike because they need the assistance of.
for
I mean,
sure.
especially if you go to like a trail like Patasco, like
Yeah, for sure.
you need power to like not like real power to do some of the climbs. And if you go on a group ride, on a 15-mile ride, and you want to be able to keep up, and you have, you know I don't want to say disabilities, but you're not there yet, then I feel like that's the way to do it. Like I hope I can get old and like get to an e-bike if I can like push the bike
For sure.
by my own force, and still be able to enjoy the sport that way. So I think some people has that, it's doing it for those reasons. And I'm not going to say some people. I feel like the majority of the people that has an e-bike is because they were big fans of the sport, and now that they're in a point in their life, that they're still doing it, but they're doing it with assistance.
Yeah. So there's a a gentleman who lives locally. His name's John Jacobs. John Jacobs has been riding uh, um, the Patapsco basically all his life, and he recently, not recently, actually, he went to an e-bike a long time ago, but because he went to an e-bike, he's now, I mean, he rides all the time. He was riding all the
Right.
time. He almost gave up riding because he wasn't enjoying it anymore. Right? It was just he was getting older. His body just wasn't doing what it used to be doing. And the group that he was riding with are pretty fast guys.
Right.
You know, he's been riding with that same group for a very long time. I mean, could you imagine not being able to ride with your best friends because you just can't keep up anymore? Well,
Right.
guess what? An e-bike is a way that you can now ride with your best friends and continue to ride.
I found a link and I want to share with you guys, and it's at maryland.gov.
Yeah, Maryland.gov.
Yeah,
Right.
and it says the policy, I guess, on bicycle policy, electric bicycle policy in state park areas.
Now, or did you put that up for me to read? Because I'm not supposed to be reading things.
I'm sorry. It was just for like,
Oh,
I
okay. I mean, I
sorry.
know it's not. I know it's not all about
No,
me.
Elvis,
but
Elvis. He doesn't even have
you
his
know,
glasses on. He can't read
it
that. He
was
can't read
Oh,
Paul. It
there's
was
anything.
Paul.
no
Paul
way.
told me to do
There's
this internally.
absolutely no way that I could read
It
that.
says the operation of electrical bicycles is permitted in all state park areas where motorized vehicles are allowed, interior public use roads, parking lots, etc., except as described below electric. And it has like, I can put the link of the whole paragraph if you guys want, but I guess they are allowed.
Yeah,
But and then
they're
and
allowed in the parks for sure,
right.
but they're not allowed in the trail system.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. They're allowed in Patapsco. You can ride through the park, you can ride Grist Mill Trail, you can ride all around, but they are not allowed on the trails that are marked not no e-bikes. And they're clearly marked. The trails that you're not allowed to ride them on are clearly marked now.
do you
So
think they have it? And I mean, I guess we can say this and then maybe cut it out at the end if it's oops, if it's not like within the lines of whatever. But do you think the because like we said, it's a very thin line, right? But you think the park is more doing it to cover themselves? Something happens,
100%.
okay. If something happens and they're
100.
like, we put the sign up, or
Yeah,
like if you hurt
100%.
somebody, right? If you hurt somebody, that's gonna be on you. Like we put the sign up saying you're not allowed to. Because let's
Are
be real, like I don't know if you want to bring some of the brands that we know, of course, but let's say uh specialized what's their e-bike, their mountain bike, like kind of like trail
Levo.
and the levo, like
Levo.
on a downhill, what do you think a regular bike will be able to do versus the e-bike as far as the
I'm,
speed if it's something?
I'm way faster. I'm way faster on my regular bike than I am on an e-bike on a downhill.
Okay.
I'm way fast. I'm not way faster on the flats, but I'm faster on the flats. I'm faster in every single category of riding bikes except for climbing on an e-bike.
Okay.
That's the only thing that I do faster on an e-bike is climb. Everything else is slower. The bikes are heavier, they don't handle as well. There's so many reasons that people think that these bikes are so much faster, but they're really not. So another example, I did a little experiment. Um, if you go back, I think beginning of the year or whatever, I took a full power e-bike out, put it on full power, and I rode around the perimeter of Avalon in Patapsco. And I did 14 miles, and I averaged 14 miles an hour, and I did both sides of the park. 14 miles an hour average is ridiculously fast in that park.
100%.
Right? That was me maxed out, going as hard as I could go, everything. So yeah, I understand. 14 miles an hour average is fast. But what the when I got back and I looked at the segments that I went through, the only segments that I had got any PRs on were the uphills. Everything else I had gone faster on my regular bike.
Did you keep
So
the KOMs? You kept them, right?
uh I actually, you want to hear something crazy? So this goes back. This
He
goes
was.
back to our. This goes back to our show that we had with Jeremiah and Chris Etal the other day. There are people in our park that are so fast that I can't get the KOMs on an e-bike.
That's crazy,
Right. And
Felipe.
yeah. I'm just not. I mean, there we have Andrew Strohmeyer's, Felipe's, and everybody else that go riding through that park. Um, that are seriously pro riders that.
Now, it can be also, and sorry to interrupt, but before I lose the thought, it can be also a combination of having the power and also having the skill. Because if you have, yes, you have an e-bike, cool, you can go fast, but if you do not have the skill to like clear some of the sections, to corner some of the sections, then you kind of like, you know, like losing, and
Paul,
that's
The
probably
e-bike
yeah.
is
Paul,
not faster and technical.
Paul, did Elvis just say I don't have the technical
No, no, no,
skills?
no, 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 at all, at all. I'm just Paul, help. Let's go to the chat. Don't read it.
I think it's time for a commercial break.
Yeah,
No,
we'll be
no,
right back.
no. You didn't say this though, Donald, in your list of things where the e-bike is not faster, but it's
Yeah,
not faster through technical stuff.
Definitely not faster when you're going over logs, you're going over
No,
rocks, you're going
no.
over things like that. It's, I mean, you feel the bike's a very lightweight
I
e-bike's
got you,
going to
Elvis.
be
I got you.
thank you. Jesus,
a
someone,
very, a
someone is
very,
on my side on this podcast. You know, I have the end stream on my like right here, right?
right. So,
No, I
so
just wanted to, because I thought it was very important. Like a lot of people thinks, okay, I do have an e-bike now. You know, I'm gonna be smoking everyone on the trail and getting all the
Not a mountain
segments
bike.
and right. And then, but at the same time, if you get an e-bike, you also got to think like if you're just thinking about getting on mountain biking, you also have to build the skill. Like it's like I got on an e-bike one time and it was just like it did a hill like nothing. I was like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
It's like you
Some
just
of them, yeah. So here's another thing that I wanna jump into. So we've been talking about the mountain bike side of things. Let's go
can
to the road. Let's go to
can
the road.
let's go to the road, but let's read some chats that we have here. We have one from Dave. It says, "If you are not a fan of quality e-bikes, you have never ridden one." And then
No,
we have
yeah.
we have one from Enrique Garcia. It says, "But people will ride this. This came when we were talking about the trail in Patasco, but people will ride them. Do people do the speed limit on the highway? Question mark. Rules are meant to be broken. So what is the fine? Is your get
If you
caught?
get
Oh,
caught,
if you get caught, yeah. I
yeah.
feel like
So
you will only get caught, like we said, if you get in a bad situation.
well, here's the thing: they got to be looking for you to get caught, right? If they're not out trying to catch you, you can't get caught. And that's the thing about the e-bikes in Patapsco.
Yeah,
The Rangers aren't trying to catch you. They don't care that you're on an e-bike. That's the gray area. They're only gonna care if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, or if something happens to where they're gonna be like, well, it's been posted. And again, it's to cover their butts, right?
yeah,
They have to state it. They have to be the way that they are in order to make sure that they cover themselves. And it's the right thing to do. They need to have it some type of coverage and protection. And their protection is saying there's e-bikes aren't allowed, right? So, that's their way out.
I want to remind everyone that we are giving away a sweater today. So make sure you go to our channels, which they are on the chat, and hit the subscribe, comment, and like, and you'll be participating, and we'll be giving it away next week, in 2 weeks.
So let's go to the road side because that's the side that I think also people have a big misconception, right? Road e-bikes, you're not keeping up with the A group on a road e-bike. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They shut off at 28 miles an hour, and now you have a 30-pound, 35-pound bike that you're going to try to keep up with the guys that are doing over 28 miles an hour. To do so, when that motor cuts off, in order for you to do 29 or 30, you're putting out 500, 600 watts. I don't know about you, Lance Armstrong sustained 500 watts for 30 minutes, but I know I can't.
Can do it for
Right.
30
So,
seconds.
right. So you get on those flat roads, like say if you wanted to go out and do locally, we have a ride that's called like Trash Talk Tuesday or Thursday. Which one is it, Paul? Trash Talk Tuesday or Thursday? Either
Trash
way.
talk, trash talk Tuesday. Yeah, I like trash talk
Yeah,
Tuesday.
we'll go there. So that ride, the average speed on that ride is about 24 and a half, 25 miles an hour. You're not keeping up on an e-bike. I promise you. There's going to be sections where you could probably ride off the front, but
Briefly.
but
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, when that motor stops giving you that assistance and you have to push that heavy road bike, it's not going to help you. I don't care if you're in a draft. I don't care what you're doing. It's now it goes from being an assistant to being something opposite. Like it's just going to drag you down.
Let me ask you this before you get deep into it. For people that it's like maybe thinking about getting one or a mountain bike or a road bike, what do you think is like the mileage that you get like on a mountain bike and on a road bike that it's an e-bike?
So
Like at 30 miles, 40.
most of them, it depends on terrain. It depends on your body weight. It depends on your riding style. It depends on how much assistance you're using, because they can be broken down to multiple levels. I have my cargo e-bike has 5 different levels of assistance. Um, a lot of other ones have like 3 different levels of assistance. It just depends on how you're riding it. Most of them, if you're going full out and you want to give it as much assistance as possible and you're riding a hilly terrain, like I'll get like 30 miles on a charge. Now, there are other e-bike companies that have like extended batteries that you can plug in, and I've heard the Specialized Creo can get up to 100 miles if you use the range extending battery. So
Especially what is called?
it's
Trio?
called the Creo.
Oh, Creo.
100 miles.
100 miles of assistant riding. And the cool thing about that bike is it's you can put it's a road, well, it's more of a gravel bike. It's got, you can put 42 millimeter tires on it. You can take it, you know, uh, Point of Rocks. We can do the gravel ride out there with it. It's a great way. Again, maybe on a gravel, it would have no problems keeping up, but with a local group. But it's people have to stop thinking that the e-bikes are there just to break records. The e-bikes, that's not what most people are using them for. You know, you're not gonna get on the e-bike and automatically want to go ride with the A group, right? If you're getting an e-bike, you're probably used to ride with the A group. Now you can barely ride and you just want to get on it to get some exercise in. There's another thing that people are using the e-bikes for, like the pros use the e-bikes on their chill days to make sure that they don't get their heart rate up or their wattage going, and they'll use the e-bikes to stay within a zone.
And they'll spin their legs. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you can hook up heart rate monitors to the e-bikes where it would give you more assistance once your heart rate gets past a certain point.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's lots of ways that you could use e-bikes to benefit your training. If you need to stay within a certain zone or whatever else, and you still want to get out and do that ride, that helps out.
Do you like them on the road, Donald? You're all right with that?
I'm fine with them anywhere. It doesn't really matter to me because again, um, most people aren't going to use aren't using an e-bike that doesn't need if they don't need to use an e-bike for one reason or other, whether that's their own reason or whether it's to keep up or whatever else. It doesn't bother me. Um, no, I just feel like we're able to include more people with e-bikes.
It doesn't. I don't know why you would be bothered at all with somebody on the road with it. I don't even see that as an issue. But I
I
guess if
see.
you're seeing Strava as people perceive Strava as a record.
Yeah, dude. I
But
seen
but they
people that
do.
goes. I seen
Strava's a
people that
business.
goes like hard,
But they
like
do,
if they
Paul.
are the owners, like if they are the owners of the all the KOMs on the park, like they'll go. Like if someone goes and barely gets a PR on an e-bike, like the comments just like, I wish I can go to Facebook. I found a post one time. It had like 250 comments about someone riding an e-bike on Patasco, and it took like a PR from someone, and it wasn't even the KOM; it was just the PR, and they were just going off.
Maybe
S-
that's what we should get for our next video, Elvis. We should film it for
Oh,
our
that would be
podcast to
awesome.
go. Okay, now get all viral with the hate on it.
Someone, D Perk says, "I don't either. Please, if you have an e-bike, drag me up the hill for sure."
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the other side of it. I mean, some people are cool with e-bikes, and they're just like, all right, well, if you're going to be on the e-bike and we're going up an incline, get on the front, pull us
Dude,
up.
I actually have a story about that because it was hilarious. I remember one time we were doing one of those Wednesday rides with Craig, and I mean, those guys go like freaking like 13.5 the first, 15 miles. And we were climbing. Is it, I'm the worst when it comes to trail names, but I think it was drugs, but we were doing it like reverse, which is like all climbs, right? And I mean, everyone was out of breath, and we were all climbing. And this guy like starts asking me questions about like the gears that I have on my bike, and he was so fresh. I was like, dude, how are you doing this? And then we get to the end of the climb, and he was on an e-bike. It's like,
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
yeah, that's exactly. Welcome to my world when I ride with Paul Lavelli.
What
I
he
was
has
just,
e-bikes.
I literally, he's not on an e-bike, but I was talking about Paul today. I brought up because I had almost the perfect zone 2 ride, and they were like, how'd you do that? It was like, 70. I think I had like 72% in zone 2, exactly where I need to be. And I was like, oh, because Paul's not riding with me. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, Paul's zone 2 is my like zone 3.5, 4. So he'll be talking to me, and he always wants to talk to me when we're climbing, where I'm completely out of breath, and he'll just be motoring along in zone 2,
Yapping away.
talking to me, and I'm like, bro, my zone 2 is not your zone 2.
When is the shifter challenge that you guys talked about
Yeah,
last
we got to
time?
get
Yeah,
that
we
on
When is
got
the.
we
that
got
coming
it. We
out?
got to get that going, man. We got to
Yeah.
definitely. There's a lot of things that we got to get going for sure.
You know what
I
we should
Hey,
do? We should grab all three of our shifters. We put them in the bag and just put like little tiny marks that we can tell at the end, and then we'll figure out who was who at the end of the
yeah,
of
yeah.
the ride.
So there's an elephant in the room behind you, Elvis. I know it's off subject, but what's up with that jersey behind you?
Oh, dude, this one. So the podcast last 2 weeks, I guess 2 weeks ago, we had the. I mean, you guys brought him, not me, but you guys invited me to be part of it. We have Jeremiah Bishops, and he gave me this, and he signed it. So cool.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
So
very
I
nice.
I was gonna send him a message, and maybe you can help me. So this is from when he went to the Olympics, or no?
No, Pan Am. I believe that might be a that. That's. I think he didn't go to the Olympics. So here's the story behind him. He went. He didn't qualify for the Olympics. I think he made like the alternate team, but he there's a
I thought
documentary. out that shows his challenge in trying to get to the Olympics.
I thought he was
And
a
it's
gold medalist.
he won a gold medal at the Pan
Pan
Am
Am's,
Games.
Pan Am's, yeah.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, which is it's sort of like a smaller version of the Olympics.
okay.
But yeah, he's a gold medalist at the Pan Am Games. I don't know if that's his gold medal jersey or he but he has represented the United States in worlds multiple times. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was really cool. I also have I've been slacking on the video, so I also have to post the video where he was signing that for me. It's really really cool.
Yeah, looks like we have Bill Wheeler on. I gotta give him a shout. What's up, Bill?
Yep.
Um, yeah, we're talking. So if you're joining a little late, we're talking about e-bikes and what you think about them. You know, like do they bother you? Does it when someone comes past you in the trailer on the road, are you kind of like, uh, you know, what's what's your thoughts? So we're asking everybody that because working in the shop, man, we get a lot of people that come in and that love them, and we get a lot of people that come in and just don't love them, right? Don't like them at all.
Do you
Um,
think w- who do you think you hear it the most from? Do you think you hear from? Because I never heard like a hardcore like who can we say? I don't know, like someone that it's like up there on the cycling, like winning races, getting podiums. I feel like it's never those guys that complain about e-bikes though. What do you think? Do you get a mix of everything or?
no, it's. I think you're right. I don't think it's the people that the strong riders aren't complaining so much. It could be because they wish more of their friends were on e-bikes so they can keep up. Right? I don't know. I don't know. But it's not the strong riders
Yeah,
that are complaining. It's the people kind of the middle of the road guys
yeah.
that that don't have a lot of time to train and maybe their buddy was riding a regular bike before and now he's having a lot of fun on an e-bike and people don't like to see other people having a good time.
It says D Perk says Aaron, they not allowed in the trails. Yeah, we covered that at the beginning of the episode. Perks, they are and they're not allowed at the same time. So
Yeah,
It's a gray area.
it's
it's
a,
a
it's
gray
a,
area. Yeah,
it's as gray as my shirt.
it's great. Bill said
Yeah, so
what Bill said it like it just like nails it down.
yeah,
Eat.
Phil Wheeler. That's a good one. Though.
Yeah,
It's true.
it's
It's
true.
true.
Yeah,
that's 100% true. I mean,
we're gonna
it's
we're gonna make that whole thing a hashtag.
yeah, yeah. So, hey, Elvis, is it possible? Again, I don't want to keep going off subject, but we don't have a lot of time, and I want to get a
Okay,
lot of stuff in.
sure.
Um, so even after this podcast, guys, you can leave a comment in there, and we read them. We read everything. So feel free to leave a comment after you've watched the podcast. Let us know that you're watching it. Again, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, guys. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. We have all the social medias covered. Um, and yeah, if you have any questions or anything like that, um, please feel free to comment. And if you have any ideas for guests that you may want to have on our podcast, please comment on that as well. Um, but yeah, so one of the things that I said, I think that from someone who owns an e-bike. Now, the e-bike that I own is more a utility style bike. And what I used my bike for was when my son was younger, um, Paul gave me a Burley trailer to pull him around on. And I quickly realized that living in a very hilly area like we do, pulling him with his all his Tonka toys and everything that he wants to bring was really, really hard. So the e-bike saved me tremendously. Like, I was able to go out while mama was on a in a meeting. I was able to take him out and ride him around, take him to the tire park, ride him all over the place. And that e-bike saved me because I wouldn't have been able to ride for an hour pulling him around up and down Ellicott City without that e-bike. So, for me, e-bikes are used in lots of different ways, not just for group rides, not just for blasting through the trails. Um, my question to the audience is, when you see someone commuting with an e-bike, does it bother you in the same way as you see someone just riding casually through the trail, or anything like that? Is there a distinct problem that you have, whether it's trail riding, whether it's group rides, whether it's, you know, or just e-bikes in general? I don't know. No one ever really tells me. Um,
Here's my thought. We in the bike community have a lot of things trying to go against us. Most of them are 4,000 pound vehicles. But the more people that we can get to enter the bike community, the better off, the stronger
Yeah,
we're going to be, the more
100%.
access we'll have. And I think it's important to realize like these are bikes. They're not motorcycles. I think that's the perception. So erroneously.
My my point would be, and I think I said it at the beginning, is that like for us, I feel like we don't care, like people that has been in the sport for a long time, because we can judge, or like you don't know what the person's condition is. Period.
right.
That's it. Like if it's someone that, I mean, you don't know. Like, what about if you're like, hey, you're not allowed to like ride e-bikes, like you don't need it, and the person might look like they don't need it, or she doesn't need it, or he doesn't need it, or them don't need it, whatever. But at the same time, like it's like my back hurts sometimes. Do I need an e-bike? Maybe I do. When I do long rides, my back be hurting. So I was like, do
Well,
I
what are
consider
you?
an e-bike? Or I'm just, my point of view is like, damn, do people need to carry like the doctor told me that I need to ride an e-bike, otherwise I can't ride my bike again. Are we really gonna get to that point? But
Yeah, where
that's
you have to ask
right.
them, like,
Like,
tell me
yeah,
why you're riding an e-bike, and we'll decide whether or not it's okay.
right. So I think it's just, yeah, it's just weird, man. I feel like it's just like a handful of people that are hating. Honestly, I feel like people that it's on that has been on the sport. Like someone said right now, and it's a really really nice comment. It's Joseph White. He said, "I think as long as e-bikes keep people on bikes, it works for me." Donald, when I get old, I will get one. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah. So and Joe White is a real, like, this dude. He's a real rider. Like, this, he's been riding for a long time. He's one of the Randallstown guys that I really look up to, and that have helped guide me
yeah,
and influence me as far as my riding. Um, yeah, it's one of those things where, again, whatever it takes to keep people on bikes. Who cares what how they're riding, and what they're riding? It's the cycling community. As long as it's, again, as long as it's truly an e-bike and not an electric motorcycle,
right,
we have, I feel like as cyclists we should stand behind everyone, right? There's so many hidden reasons that people may want a bike. Hell, listen to this. Imagine if you didn't even ride a bike for exercise. You rode a bike because you love fresh air, you love going out, and you just want to go from point A to point B and take pictures of the pond or whatever else, right? Why? and you have a hard time doing it, covering that area because you're just not fit enough to do it. But now you have an e-bike and you can get from point A to point B. You can go to all the places that you just weren't able to go to before and see the sites that you weren't able to see.
Right.
Is there a problem with that? You know what I mean? I don't get a lot of, like I said, the animosity that comes with e-bikes.
It's plain and simple, dude. Look at the chat. Like the chat right now, it's full of people. It's like full of like 100 years of experience on cycling, and everyone, it's like everyone agrees. You know.
Well, listen, I've been in cycling obviously for a long time. I remember when everything was cheating, right? I remember when my buddies got a suspension fork, and people were hating on the suspension fork. They're like, "Oh, you're cheating," right?
Go
So
rigid.
I feel like every advancement that comes, there's going to be a bunch of purists that don't like it. Disc brakes. When people got disc brakes, did you see how many people were just like, man, they hated on disc brakes. They hated on suspension forks. They hated on full suspension. I
Dropper
hated
pores.
I hated dropper posts.
I still don't have one.
I I used to hate dropper posts. Now I love them. Like it's weird how we maybe that's the reason that I've been missing. Maybe it's the advancements that we're afraid of. Afraid of cycling becoming not really cycling anymore, right? I don't know what it could be, but I think people are afraid of the advancements of cycling and what could be next.
We got a couple chats here. We got one from Herod Centeno. I don't know who that person is, but it has the same last name as me, which is weird.
Yeah,
My brother. They say, hello, guys. I think it's a personal choice. Some people want to enjoy the trail or road and want the extra help. We need to stop the hate and let people be. We need the community outside.
for sure.
Yeah, that's it says next comment says just don't come for chaos.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest with you, there's some algorithms that are in place right now that if you're riding an e-bike, it'll tell you that it says, looks like you were riding an e-bike. Do you want to change the status of this ride?
Yeah.
So you know, I had a really fast ride once on my regular bike, and if Strava thought I was on an e-bike, and I took it as a compliment.
I
On
feel
that note,
like
on that
I,
note.
I feel like Paul is laughing. Like he's like, oh, I get that all the time. Look at him.
No, I was.
No,
He's not saying that I was on that ride pulling him along.
yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I got. Hey, that's a
So are
that's a
you
full.
saying that Paul was the e-bike? He was the. Are
Paul
you
was the.
no wait? Paul was the assistance at that day.
That's right. Paul was the assistant.
If you
What?
draft Paul for the ride on Race Road, they're gonna think you're on an e-bike. Just so
That's
you.
right. Hey, it doesn't matter. Again, assistance is assistance, whether
Assistance
it's
is
electric,
assistance.
whether it's drafting, whatever it is, right? If you we laugh all the time at the big group rides when we get back to the group ride and everybody's bragging about them. Man, I did 23 miles an hour average, and there were only two people up front pulling the entire group. Right? Assistance is assistance, whether you have an e-bike or whether you have a group in front of you drafting.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
quote a famous quote. I'm only here because I have the directions. Is that true? I'll just leave. I'll leave
That's
it at
right. That's right.
that.
I mean, that's true. It's true. Some people are, like I said, they have to rely on the guy in front of them or the person in front of them to get that draft.
yeah.
And you know, it's no difference, guys. It's not. It's absolutely no different.
Rafita from Costa Rica says, "Saludos, Rafita." It says, "I think the e-bike is for chilling."
No doubt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think through this conversation, we've made it quite clear that e-bikes are for just about everything.
Yeah.
right? That's the cool thing about it. It's just e-bikes are just as versatile as regular bikes. Whatever you want to do with with a regular bike, you could do it on an e-bike as well. You can train, you can ride, you can commute, you can run errands, whatever, everything. I mean, there's really not much you can't do at a much easier pace on an e-bike.
Dude, I like the e-bike that you use with your son. I think it's so cool, man. Like I feel like if you have like family, kids, like something like that will like, at the same time you would be able to have fun and also like take your kids to the outdoors and I like still
It's
be able to enjoy it.
it's a game changer. It really
Yeah.
is. I the amount of I think me and Bo, the one before I had that one, I think we put over 1,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time that I spent with my son pulling him around Catonsville, Ellicott City, and everything else. Right?
Dude, and it's an extra workout. Like believe I did like I think it was like 7 miles with Natalie pulling her on the trailer with the regular bike.
Yeah,
And it was tough, dude.
it's
It's
very
tough
tough.
work.
It's very tough. So I mean, our longest ride that me and my son did was 30 miles. I pulled him along in that trailer for 30 miles through Catonsville and everything else. I love it.
Yeah.
So
We have a comment here. It says from Bill. It says, "But what if you want to go for a long ride? Question mark. 6 to 8 hours. E-bike, not a good choice on the trails. No, definitely not.
well, no, again, it just depends on how you ride the e-bike, right? And you can totally do 6 hours on an e-bike if you have the right e-bike, right? You have to make sure you have the range extender. You got to have you got to put it on a lower setting and enjoy your ride. If you're thinking you're gonna go do 6 hours of racing on an e-bike, it's not gonna happen. But if you want to do 6 hours of riding at a lower level of assistance with a range extending battery, you can 100%.
Um, I'm a little ignorant on this. Was it last year that they added e-bike race on UCI, or it's been
Yeah,
going on for okay?
yeah. Well, I think they've been racing for a while, but I think they've kind of I don't get that. That as much as I like e-bikes, I don't get the
Sorry,
e-bike
I
racing
guess I
Oh
thing.
touched
no!
something very
Oh
sensitive.
no! Oh
I just don't get it. How
no! Elvis,
they can't
we were so
listen.
close to
We
wrapping it
were
up.
just three
You're so
minutes to
bad.
finish,
Listen, how do
guys.
you how do you even begin to regulate? How do you even begin to regulate that, right?
Whoever has the strongest Tesla batteries, man.
Yeah, I'm like, how do you even begin to regulate that? Like
You
now it's
regulate by making sure that that battery is not doping.
you can't. It's so I mean, there's so many things that so many ways that people can cheat in those races.
Yeah, hundred
Like,
percent.
I'm not saying Travis Pastrana cheated on his e-bike when I raced him, but I'm not saying that he didn't.
He had a jet engine on it. A
Um,
small
there's,
thing.
there's. I was catching him, and all of a sudden he just disappeared. So I don't know. Like I said, e-bike races are
And
tricky,
there was a catalytic converter on the ground. This just so happens. It's no
right?
longer.
He took it to a mission the weekend before. I have a question, I think, and I think it's regarding your e-bike that you're using with your son. Let me see
Uh
where to
huh.
go. Where to go? How is it? Something about Oh, there you go. How is that e-bike up Ilchester?
Up Ilchester. So the one that I use with my son actually has uh 400 pounds of towing capacity. It takes it's super torquey, and with as long as you're putting you got to put some pedal, you got to put some power into it, but it gets you up Ilchester.
Is it that one or no?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yep, yep. So
It
it will
looks very
get you
looks very European.
I would like to know
yeah
how heavy this bike is.
70 pounds.
Oh my god!
70
So
pounds. So you do not want to get caught out without the battery being charged.
No.
wheels and tire, 36 hours. Wait, 36 hours? What does that mean?
So 36 hours. So when you're talking e-bike talk, there's a whole nother language. Okay. So they're talking how many hours, like watt hours the battery will last and things like that. It's like I said, it's a whole nother language of talking. But a great bike. Love it. It's one of my, like I said, it's one of my favorite e-bikes to have. Very sketchy to ride, but if you ride it the way that I ride it, super sketchy. It doesn't handle well at all. It bounces down the road because the wheels, there's no suspension and the wheels have a lot of volume. Um, but it wasn't designed to ride the way I ride it. It's designed to take your time, run errands, pull things, all that kind of stuff. There's so many accessories you can get for it. You can get 4 panniers for it that are basically big open grocery panniers
Oh
that
yeah, I think I saw that.
yeah, and you can put them on the front, back. You can put a big tray on the front. I mean, it's a cargo bike. So super fun. It comes with all the lights, it comes with everything, and it's not that expensive when you really look at e-bikes. I want to say, what's that price on there, Elvis?
2800.
2,800 bucks. So yeah, on the back part there, on the rear rack, it actually, one of the accessories is a child seat, so you can put a child. It has a padded seat there, and it comes with axle pegs that you put on the back. So my son sits back there on the back.
Cool.
Yeah. So I don't think we got anything answered. I think we just all agreed that we're cool with e-bikes.
All right,
But
let me go to some of the comments here. No matter we have Joseph, no matter whether you love them or hate them or hate e-bikes, they are here to stay.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Peter Sagan is retiring to do. I don't know if he's doing cross country or if he's just gonna do e-bike. Yeah, he's doing that.
Is that real?
Yeah, he's retired. He's doing mountain biking now.
Yeah, he's doing mountain biking, but not e-biking.
The races that I seen him, he's on an e-bike.
What?
Yeah, bro. If
Mm.
Peter Sagan needs a e-bike, I need an e-bike.
Yeah, you
Some
get him where
companies,
he's fitting,
some
I
companies
guess.
paying him money. Some companies paying him money
Yeah,
to do.
for
True.
sure.
Here, Rafita dice, here in Costa Rica, we have different events, competition, and the e-bike says presence, right since 2 hours on top 10 hours. That depends what kind of e-bike you have. Yeah.
Hey, hey, Paul, did you notice the way Elvis said Costa Rica?
I always notice the way Elvis says Costa Rica.
Yeah, it's super cool. I try to I you know how if you go, I don't know about you guys, but if you hang out with a bunch of New York people, you start to feel like you're getting a New York accent.
New York.
New York.
I swear my Spanish accent started coming in a little strong when I start hanging out with Elvis.
Listen, you
And
keep listening. You keep listening to that podcast with your translator on. You're going to learn something.
I am. I am. So far I've learned poquito.
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 See?
Poquito,
I
sí.
need to practice. Poquito.
Pero es que yo le digo a mi gente que, o sea, que lo que tienen que hacer es comprarse una e-bike, loco, y así tú vas a ser más rápido. O sea, y ganarles a todo.
E-bikes are
Yeah.
catching on
Yeah, that's
quickly.
right. That's
It
right,
is true.
Elvis. That's right. Tell them exactly how you feel, Elvis. All
But
right, guys.
yeah, I think we're all in favor, man. If you need it, use it, enjoy it,
That's
have
right.
fun, enjoy all the miles when you go out. And if
That's
that's the
right.
way it happens, hey, do it, man. Just
I I I
be
even
safe out there.
I even say if you want to check out an e-bike, please swing past the shop. Let you use one of mine. Take it out, and I promise there's very few people that ride them and don't come back with a smile on their face.
Especially if it died in the middle of the ride.
Yeah, well, that would be it. But it's almost a challenge. I challenge you
Yeah.
to come back and not have fun on that bike.
Or maybe
I
they can
agree.
just ride with Paul so they know how like a e-bike does on the trail.
Well, listen, I've gone out on when Paul was seriously training for nationals a couple years back. I've gone out a couple times on my e-bike while Paul was on his regular bike.
That's a true
So
story.
yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things where if he needs to do hills and he needs to be in within a certain zone, and I don't feel like having him go up the hill, turn around, come back and get me, go up the hill, turn around, come back and get me. That's my solution to it.
It happened.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Like I said, I don't think we got a lot accomplished as far as like, besides knowing that the majority of the people that are watching all are in agreements as far as e-bikes are here to stay, and there's really not too much wrong with them.
I think in the comments, in order to win the sweatshirt, you have to put a suggested topic that you want us to cover.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Yes. Oh, Elvis, show them, give them a sneak preview of what might be our jersey. Can you pull that up?
Give me 10 seconds.
This is Donald not filling space for
This is
10 seconds.
like I'm at work. Like he's like asking me
All
stuff
right,
on the
right,
spot.
right. And then he went silent. He went like,
He's just
okay,
like set me. Yeah,
I'm
he's
gonna
like
I don't
count
want
him
to.
I
I
out.
don't
thought he
want
was gonna be talking for like the 10 seconds, but he's like, we
to. I
wait.
don't. Yeah, George
you'll
said,
you'll
give you
have to
10
you'll
seconds.
have to edit that one out, Elvis.
Right.
He said, give me 10 seconds. So I wanted to give you some time.
Thanks, man.
My bad.
So we're giving the hoodie away. It's a size medium. I'm gonna do this while my secretary here takes care of the slide. Um, we're giving the hoodie away. We have a size large, right, Donald? And also this is a medium. So
Yeah, I think we have a small, medium, and large.
okay, cool. So the rules, Paul, are for whoever wants to participate to put on the chat our next subject.
A suggested thing that you want us to cover in the podcast. Like, hey, what do you want us to talk about? E-bikes was tonight. We've done national champions in Patapsco Park. We've done winter bike maintenance. So what do if you guys got a topic you want to hear us talk about, put it in there.
There
Ooh,
it is.
Cool, cool.
Can you make it
there it
bigger?
is.
That's what
Yeah.
Keep it clean. This is a family show now.
You're gonna
Sorry.
get
We
demonetized.
just got demonetized.
All right, so that's a sneak peek. We're gonna probably have the sleeves be all tan on that bad boy, but we'll have them ready once we finalize it. We'll have them ready for sale soon. And the way that you'll be buying them is they'll actually have, so that's made by Hill Killer, and they'll actually have a code that you can use that opens up a store for our merch with them. We're also going to have hats and possibly socks as well. So
Cool.
if you guys want some merch and you want to be part of the family, that's the way to do it. And like I said, so all profit. Me and Paul were talking a while ago, and we would love to be able to write a check to Nika and say, hey, this is from Black and Tan. Thank you for what you do.
Let me just throw an idea and we can cut it out if you guys don't agree with it. What happens if, like, let's say we have someone from a company here and wants to put their logo on the jersey and they want to donate money and say, hey, I want my company name on the jersey. Will you guys be willing to, like, take it as a sponsorship and we give a donation?
I'm sure, Paul, that I'm just a small player in this organization, and that's going to be a question that Paul Lavelli is going to have to answer.
Okay.
I say yes. if you want to make a nice donation to NICA on your end, Black and Tan's behalf, we should consider that. I think.
Okay.
There you go. You heard it from straight from the source.
All righty.
Well, thank you guys. You guys for tuning in. We got a lot of chat going. We got a lot of questions. Really appreciate everybody. Don't forget, and I know if this is my third or fourth time saying it, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps out.
Yep, and we're gonna be checking the chat for next in the next what's the next one, guys?
2 weeks.
2 weeks from today.
2 weeks from today, we're gonna be checking the chat to see who is the winner. And I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Black and
All right.
Tan, 0.0075% faster. Even Elvis has got Black and Tan on his wheels now.
We all
I do it,
did.
and I do feel faster, guys. I do. I even got a blister on my hand of how fast I was going the other day.
Welcome.
The
Hey,
tires.
Elvis,
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you.
welcome. Welcome to the pack. The wolf pack.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for having me. This is fun. Thank you for making me part of the group.
Always, man. Always. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
All right. Guys, have a great night.
Thank you everyone for joining us. And